King Collector here, and today we are working on the boat once again. This is part 2 of the series. Welcome back. Today we are going to be getting our new trailer lights on. I've already kind of started just a little bit because these bolts holding on the headlight, or the tail light brackets, they were pretty difficult to get out, so I just kind of got them started. I got the broken mount off of that one right there, and we'll be gutting all this wiring because we got new wiring, everything. So anyways, without further ado, let's get into it right away. Alright, so let's finish taking these guys off. It's a locking nut, so we need to use our whatever you call it. Yes. Hey, there's that one. So we just gotta figure out how to get this wiring out of here. I don't even see a wire nut. I do see 2 dirt dauber nests though. Boom! There we go. So the pipe is off. We'll get it sanded down nice and smooth, and then we'll put some gloss black paint on it, I guess. Bam! Cut the wires off, which are in here. Bam! Water everywhere. Now let's get that thing the rest of the way off there. Crap fall everywhere. That's my style of work right there. Alright, wires are out, so that's pretty much the only reason why I actually took the pipes off, just so I could paint them. But it will make getting the wiring in there a lot easier as well. So I guess let's actually wet sand these things and get them ready for paint. This wiring is a terrible, terrible mess. As you can see, I mean, look at that. Just a bunch of random garbage everywhere. It's pretty bad. So it's a good thing we're getting rid of it. You want as least, what would you call it? You want as least splices as possible, I guess. That's how you should say it. Meaning there's no reason to have 2 sections of wire nuts, is basically what I'm saying. It's just another point of failure, and we will not be doing the same thing. So I ripped out the ground and everything, so we'll just redo the whole entire thing instead of relying on somebody else's wiring job that was not so good to begin with. And there we go. Alright, so back from work now. It's 1 in the morning. It's pretty fun working at night. Anyways, that's besides the point. Here's the deal with the trailer. I hate the guidance poles that are on these small boat trailers. If you have your bunks adjusted correctly, they will guide your boat just fine. So, that's what I did. I took those guidance poles off. We're not even going to have them on there because I just don't care. And then we adjusted the bunks. That's where they used to be, right there, and we just adjusted them 1 step out, and it is sitting on there just fine. So that's what we're gonna do. Anyways, our lighting kit arrived. Check these things out. Pretty nice. I had these same ones on a different trailer, and they were really nice lights actually. They're pretty dang bright, so we're gonna roll with it. So we got 2 of those, of course. We're throwing them things on there, and then we also have these. amber clearance lights for the front, which I believe there used to be some right here where these holes are. They're on both sides in the exact same spot. I don't know, I can't think of any other reason why those holes would be there. So I'm going to assume that there used to be actual clearance lights right there. So we'll throw them back on. And this is the whole kit and caboodle. We have the wiring and everything to do it. So we'll try to get this done tonight. So let's get going on it. Alright, so I got the taillight bracket mounted down in the bottom corner of the trailer now. And we'll slide in our new taillight here. And this is the ground right here. I think what I'm just going to do is put it right on the mounting bolt for the light. I'm going to hope that works. It probably won't, but it's worth a shot. And I have some protective conduit that I can throw on it as well for pretty much all these wires. So any rocks that get like flung up from the tire will just protect the conduit will protect these from those rocks. So should work just fine. I'll check it on every now and then just to make sure it's actually working still. So I think we'll call that good. And let's get the other side now. And I realized that I put this light on the wrong side. This is the green one, which the green is for the right side, not the left. So I swapped them out, put the right one on that side and put this one on this side. Normally it wouldn't matter, but one's got the license plate light on it, and it's also for color coding reasons. So we'll do it right the first time. Alright, there we go. Taillight number 2. And let's get the marker lights on now, which will be these guys right here. Very easy to mount up. They're just one bolt, and then we'll have to drill a bigger hole for the wiring because the holes that are there are not big enough. So we'll have to fix that. Alright, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but just drilling a hole pretty much right there. At least looks pretty dang close. Yep, I'll do it pretty much right here. There we go. Just like that. And I just realized I need to make it bigger than that. Alright, so as you can see, got the marker lights on up front. They're a little far back, but I don't feel like drilling a bunch of holes to move them around, so we're just going to roll with it. Looks fine to me. And did test them with the battery, and they all seem to be working as they should. So now we just need to get that wiring stuff snaked through the entire thing, and hopefully we have working lights by the end of this. So let's keep going. Alright, so I fished the pigtail through the tongue beam here. Comes out at the pivot. And we need to splice the brown wire. We need to basically cut it, strip it, and then tap our side markers into it. The brown wire is the running light wire, like nighttime running lights. And we'll need to zip tie the wires up. So, should be pretty easy. You can see what I did there. Pretty much the same thing with the ground where it's mounted like on the mounting bolt for the light itself. So that's just the easiest way to do it. Alright, so let's take our wire, give us a little bit of extra, because we have plenty extra down there for the taillight, so not worried about that. Let me just carefully snip the brown wire. And you splice it away. Just a little bit. So what will happen, you splice all three of these wires together in one wire nut, and then you have your marker light. It's that easy. So let's do it. So I'm just gonna get all these wires gathered together. Twist these two, and then twist the last one on, just to hold it for a second. And why do I use wire nuts, you may ask? Well, it's quite simple. Should this light die, it makes wiring in the new one very easily. There's no solder joints you have to break and redo or anything like that. So this light should now work, since our ground is on the frame of the trailer, just like our pigtail up front. So I'll just get a little zip tie, let's tie all this together. Bada boom, bada bam. There you go. We'll just stuff that in there. And we want to make sure that this obviously is actually going to work. We want to make sure that our wire connections are nice and good when we test it. So basically just do the same thing on the other side. And wire up the taillights and we can test it out. Alright, let's test our work for the marker light wiring. I have the positive of the battery shoved inside the brown terminal on the pigtail, which is the nighttime running lights, and since our marker lights are grounded to the frame of the trailer, we can put the ground of the battery onto the frame of the trailer, and let's see what happens. How about that? They're working. So there's those things, and now we just need to get the tails working now. Should be pretty straightforward, just a couple wire nuts and we're pretty much done. Alright, now we're onto the taillights, and it's pretty straightforward. You just tie the green with the green and the brown with the brown. I keep hearing something weird going on down the road. I don't really know what it is. I keep hearing telephone haptic sounds and then somebody talking kind of strange. I don't really know what it is, but anyways, let's test it real quick to test that ground, make sure it's actually working. I have it hooked up to my Jeep here. Flick on the lights. Alright, marker lights turned on. Let's see if that works. Nope. I decided to just self-tap into the bottom of the trailer for the ground. I'll get it cleaned up with a wiring conduit to make it look a little bit cleaner. First, let's test our work. We'll throw on the running lights and the four-ways. Okay. Our ambers are on. And look at that. Both taillights are working. How about that? Then, of course, you have your license plate light. Down there, lighting up the ground right now because I don't have my plate on it, but I'll take it out for a test drive and make sure everything is actually working really good. So, there we go. Alright, so lights are working good. I don't know if you can really see that or not. But that wheel bearing is so bad in that one wheel that if I go too fast, it like starts shaking very, very bad. It's like comical how bad it is. So I'm kind of limited to 25, 30 miles an hour. And I just got to make my way back, basically. Alright, so I just kind of finalized things. Got some wire conduit on the main pigtail cable up here. And back on the taillights where the wires are exposed. Got those covered up as well, and some conduit on both sides, of course. And took some dielectric grease and packed it inside each of the wire nuts to keep water out of there. And this thing is pretty much ready to go in terms of lighting. So now we have a couple more things we can do. We have some new chain for the trailer itself, which that's just as easy as kind of just throwing it through the loop. It's a bit excessive, but no. So yeah, I mean, not really much else to do with the trailer besides get the new wheel hubs on there, which I'm still waiting for those. Those should be here tomorrow, I think. I need to check again, but anyways, for the boat, we have port and starboard lights. And those will just literally go right up underneath there. Well, this won't go on that side, but the green one will be on the right side. So, you get the mounting holes for those. They'll need to be taken off again anyway, but might as well just throw them on so they don't get lost. And that's pretty much it. I mean, we'll have the trailer completely done and road ready, and we'll be able to actually start work on the boat itself. Alright, so the new wheel hubs arrived, so I just need to get this thing up in the air. We'll of course replace this one first because this is the one that needs it. So we'll get that taken care of, and we'll keep moving. Okay, so as you can see, the new wheel hub is on. I ran into 1,000 issues trying to put it back on. So basically what was happening is these new hubs sit farther back than the old ones do. So the spindle was protruding so far from the nut. When I tried to put on the bearing buddy, it would push past this snap ring in here. And that's where the piston sits, and it was basically pushing the piston out, which then caused it not to sit correctly. So it's a pretty easy fix. Just get two 1-inch washers, throw them on the back, and as you can see, this nut sits pretty much flush with the spindle now, and it should work just fine now. So I guess I bit the bullet and bought some new ones, because the old ones were, I was on the fence about them. So there's that, and also this one was actually missing the protector cap here, so that was another issue with it. So anyways, I think we will pound these back on. Actually, I still gotta get the pin back in there. Then we'll put these back on, which looks like it's gonna work. Cool. And this thing will be ready to be on the road. I can finally tow it faster than 30 miles an hour, so it'll be fun. Alright, finally got it to where the piston's kind of pushing out now. It's pretty easy to tell when it's doing it. It'll kind of wiggle around as you move the gun when you're trying to squeeze it. So anyways, look how nicely that thing rolls. Beautiful. Let's slap the cap on it. And that is a brand new wheel hub, ready to be on the road. Now, I wouldn't normally put put washers on the back of this thing like I did, but it left me no other choice. Alright, got the trailer hooked up. Lights are working. Let's take this thing for a spin. Got the new chain on. Ready to do some accidental work. Let's go. No more bearing noise. There's 55. Barely even tell it's back there. There's pretty much 60 right there. I have big tires, so my speedometer is a little bit off. That should be about 60 right there. Can hardly even tell the thing's back there. So I'd say the trailer is fixed up and ready to go on the road.